To day two as part of the team, and momentum is really important. So you figured out your why. The next thing it's important to figure out is a little bit of admin. So you need to go to Google Coach's Office, Beachbody, and you'll get a link to the back end where you've got lots of training and information. But the bit that you want to go to is you want to find the part where they tell you how you can get paid, because that's really important. Because no money, no mission, unless you are earning, it's going to be unsustainable for you to maintain the impact that you want to have on people's lives, because you've got to pay your bills as well. So once you've logged in with the email and password that you signed up with, then you'll come to a page and you'll have options along the top, and one of them will say monitor my business, and if I click on that, and then you'll get lots of options that come up. Customers and orders, that's anyone who joins and is one of your customers. You can follow them in terms of their and get the information like the email address, and keep track of who's there, how many people you have, who's active and who isn't. You then in downline you have something called sponsorship down drill, so you'll get to see all of your team and how it's progressing and building up. So that's something you're gonna need later. And there's in compensation there's something called my TFT management. So you need to go into that and put your bank details, because it's very important you get paid. So I made this mistake when I first joined. I was like, well, it's been a week and you get paid every week, and Beachbody week is Thursday to Thursday. So I thought it's Thursday, I haven't been paid. And then I had to go to help, which is the next thing I'm going to tell you about. And then I realized that I hadn't actually entered my details. So if you go to my TF management, my ETF management, you'll be able to put your bank details in to make sure you get paid into the account you want to get paid into, and that's on a weekly basis. Above that, you've got something called earnings and commissions, and that's something you would want to keep track of as well. How much are you earning? And we're going to talk about earnings in a future video, because that's obviously important. But in this one, this is just admin stuff. First one is Coach's Office. You need to bookmark that. So on your bookmark bar, make sure you've got easy access to that, because you will need it. And so definitely do that. It'll save you time rather than having to do that again and again. Next thing you need to have access to is help, because there's going to be lots of occasions where you're going to get stuck with something and you need to speak to the help desk, like something hasn't gone through correctly, or you're not sure why something's not working, or let's say they overcharged you. I mean, that's not something you expect to happen, but let's just say you're overcharged by Beachbody, or one of your team was overcharged, so you need to be able to access help. So if you, let me just bring it up. I've saved it in my Google Keep, so whenever I need it, I can easily get access to it. And it's a bit of a long link, so what I'll do is I'll put it as a bit.ly link in the description to this video. So what I'd like you to do is, once you've watched the video, go down to the description box below and you'll see the links for the Coach's Office. So go into Coach's Office and bookmark that. You'll see the link for the help desk. Add that to whatever notes function you use on your phone, because it's all you really need to run this business is your phone. And so on Google Keeps you can have these key addresses that you're going to need just saved, and you can pin it, or you can have useful resources or useful numbers and contacts. So once you've done that, you've got my number and you can contact me anytime and I'll get back to you, unless I'm sleeping, and often when I'm sleeping as well I'll still get back to you. And apart from that, you've got the help desk, you've got Coach's Office to keep track of things, and the other thing you need to know how to use is ShareAcart. ShareAcart is if I want to recruit somebody. So if I'm doing really well and people are like, wow, how are you getting in shape, you lost so much weight, say, well, I'm doing this challenge, would you like to do it with me? And worst case scenario, say no, or most half of the people will say, or a percentage of people will say, yeah, I'd like to do it with you. And then to sign them up, you need to access Shirakart. So if you Google Shirakart, and that's Shareacrt Beachbody, you'll get to a website, and I'll put this in the description box below as well, so you can just copy all of these links for when you need them. And when you go to Shirakart Team Beachbody, which is the first or second link that will come up in Google when you search for that, but again, I'm going to give you all these links. Then you'll get to a login page. You put in your details. It's really important you put your details correctly, so the customer or the coach that you've recruited gets allocated to you. So once we've done that, then it's going to ask you what they want, because there's so many products. I mean, you've got the number one health and fitness company in the world, so you can imagine there's a lot of things that they could potentially purchase. So you want to help them out here, and that's your job as a coach, is to help direct them. So that's why it's important to use the products yourself, so you have some experience. And Beachbody On Demand is quite good because they have a beginner, intermediate, and advanced filter. They also have a time filter. So what I usually ask people is, how much time can you commit to this realistically? How much time will you definitely be able to do in a day? If they say 10 minutes, then that narrows down my options. If they say 20 minutes, then I might look for something which is that duration. And if they say I can do an hour, then there's packages for all of that. If I know they have no history of training, or they have an existing injury which is going to limit it, I would go with more of the beginners programs, and Beachbody has that filter. And if they're a gym junkie and this is supplementing their gym stuff, so it's accessory training, then I would go for the advanced, which is more challenging and longer duration. So once you go to Team Beachbody, it's going to ask you for the new enrollments email address. It's very important you get this off whoever you speak to, and you should be keeping a mailing list, which we'll be talking about later. It's something I need to work on. And you're going to need the email to enter it in here. So you enter the email. Let's put joeblogs@joeblogs.com, first name, second name, and then the country they're in. That's really important. That took me a while to figure out, because I was putting people in Canada, and I didn't check that they were in the UK, so it wasn't converting the currency, because there's different prices in the countries that Beachbody operates in, which is US, Canada, and UK at the moment. And then you put down whether the customer or the coach. Now, a lot of customers are willing to be discount coaches. Discount coaches means that if they sign up as a coach, which doesn't cost them anymore, but in future, if they make any purchases, they would get a 25% discount. So it's kind of a no-brainer, and they can always cancel. So if they're going to cancel as a customer in a month, they can always cancel as a coach in a month. There's no obligation or a yearly subscription or anything crazy like that. So once you click them, you can offer for them to be a coach. Explain that they don't actually need to coach anybody. If they want to be a discount coach, if they want to be a coach as a business builder, they can do that too. But you'd sign them up as a coach most often, and then click yes for you have permission to enter the details. Go to continue, and it will ask you what pack you want. You select the challenge pack, so you go for the challenge packs, top left hand corner. It will give you a couple, and then you can pick which one you think is suitable for that client, and then it will ask you what flavor supplement they want. So what flavor Shakeology they want is really important when you're on the phone to your prospective clients, that they tell you what flavor they want, because you don't want to make that decision for them. And you'd think everyone would go for chocolate, but I'm surprised that people would prefer other flavors, but they do. And once you've done that, then it will take you to a link. So it will send them an email, and plus it will give you a link, but the link is a bit of an ugly one. It's huge. So you want to go to, then copies that link to your clipboard. So what you need to do then is go to a website called Bitly, which you can enter that hyperlink, and it will shrink it, and it will give you a Bitly link, which is nice and beautiful. So then you can, I would copy that link and then WhatsApp it or text it to your patient or your client. So then once they've got that, all they need to do is click on that to process the order, as opposed to going to their email, which not everyone does on a regular basis. So that's going to be really important for you to be able to use those 3 areas. The help desk, which for that you need your coach ID, and your coach ID will be sent to you in the email that you get when you register. So when you register, you get this number. It's usually like 1870101, for example. So that's 7 digits, and it's important in that Google Keep file that you have that you keep all this information. So you keep your user number, so you're going to need that. You keep your last 4 digits of the card that you used when you registered for the challenge pack, because when the help desk does a security check, they're going to ask you for those last 4 digits. So you just need the last 4 digits of your 13-digit card that you used when you signed up. And then you're looking at the other stuff, which is the 3 links that I talked about: ShareAcart, Help Desk, and also Coach's Back Office, which I'll all 3 I'll put in the description box below. And then you're pretty much good to go. So that's most of the admin-y stuff that you need to know day to day. So it's not exciting, but it's necessary. So thanks for watching this video, and this is going to be a journey, but we're in this together and we're going to succeed together.